Listen to me carefully, because what I'm about to tell you will change the way you see yourself, your life, and your future. Right now, in this very moment, you are standing at a crossroads. You feel it, don't you? That tension inside your chest, that whisper in your mind telling you that you're capable of more, that you're meant for more, but someone has been holding you back. Maybe it's fear. Maybe it's doubt. Maybe it's the people around you telling you to wait, to settle, to play it safe. But I'm here to tell you the truth, and it's a truth most people are too afraid to face. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody. Not your friends, not your family, not opportunity itself. If you are waiting for someone else to lift you, to fix your problems, to hand you your dreams, then you are already losing. The clock is ticking. Life is moving, and your future will not wait for your hesitation. Right now, I want you to imagine something. Imagine the life you dream about, the success you crave, the respect you deserve. Imagine yourself standing in that life, fully alive, fully capable, fully in control. Do you feel it? The rush of possibility, the power of potential realized. That life is yours, but here's the catch. It will not come to you. You will not stumble upon it. You will not be chosen for it. You have to take it. You have to fight for it. You have to wake up every single day and decide that nothing, no obstacle, no failure, no critic, no setback will stop you from becoming the person you were meant to be. That is the moment when the ordinary stops and the extraordinary begins. I want you to feel something right now. A fire, a spark, a refusal. That little voice inside your head that says, I can't, I'm not ready, I'll wait. Because the truth is, readiness is a myth. Waiting is a trap. Comfort is a cage. And anyone who achieves greatness knows this. The only thing standing between you and your dreams is the action you take today, right now, in this exact moment. The world will not give you permission. The universe will not pause for you, and no one is going to save you from the grind, from the struggle, from the climb. It's all on you. And that reality is terrifying for most people, but it is liberating for the one who chooses to rise. You are about to hear a message that will make you uncomfortable, because growth is uncomfortable. You are about to be challenged, because challenge creates strength. You are about to confront the truth, because truth sets the stage for transformation. And when this message hits you, I want you to promise yourself one thing: that you will not turn away, that you will not quit halfway, that you will not let distraction, fear, or doubt steal what is yours. You will lean into it. You will feel it. You will allow it to ignite a fire inside you so fierce, so relentless, that by the time this is over, you are not the person who started listening. You are a different person. A person ready to take control, a person who understands that nobody is coming to save you, and that is the most powerful realization you could ever have. So listen closely, pay attention, and absorb every word, because what you do after this moment, how you respond to this truth, will define your life. It's time to stop waiting. It's time to stop hoping. It's time to act. It's time to focus. It's time to rise. And it starts right now. Self-reliance is the cornerstone of every life that achieves greatness. It is the raw, undeniable truth that the only person who will consistently be there for you, who will fight for your dreams as fiercely as you can, is yourself. You can beg, you can hope, you can pray, but waiting for someone else to step in, waiting for a rescue, waiting for the perfect conditions or the perfect timing will keep you trapped in the same cycle of disappointment over and over. Life does not pause, it does not negotiate, and it certainly does not offer safety nets to anyone who hesitates. To rely on someone else is to give your power away, to hand over the steering wheel of your destiny to someone who may not care as much as you do. Someone who may be wrapped up in their own struggles, someone who may even betray your trust because their life is not yours to prioritize. Self-reliance is not just a mindset, it is a necessity. It is the muscle you build by deciding repeatedly that you will take action no matter what, that you will wake up and face the storm because no one else is coming to shield you from it. The first step in embracing self-reliance is understanding that waiting for someone to save you is a form of weakness disguised as patience. There is no hero arriving on a white horse, no magical opportunity falling into your lap without effort, no external force that will change your life while you sit idle. Every single person who has ever achieved greatness knows this truth. They did not wait for encouragement. They did not wait for comfort. They did not wait for a guarantee. They acted. They acted when the world doubted them. They acted when they were tired. They acted when they were scared. They acted when no one was watching. And that is the essence of self-reliance, taking ownership of your life with a sense of urgency and intensity that is unmatched. When you embrace this, you realize that your failures are not a reflection of others' unwillingness to help, but a reflection of your opportunity to rise, adapt, and overcome. Self-reliance also requires brutal honesty with yourself. You must confront your weaknesses, your excuses, and your patterns of dependency. Ask yourself, how often have you waited for validation, approval, or guidance before taking action? How many dreams have you let slip through your fingers because you were waiting for someone else to say yes or give you a green light? Every second spent waiting is a second lost in building the life you are capable of. Self-reliance means you no longer hide behind excuses. You no longer blame circumstances, and you no longer rely on the opinions or support of others to determine your worth or your success. You take the responsibility completely and embrace it with a ferocity that is unshakable. This does not mean you do not seek advice, you do not collaborate, or you do not build connections. It means you do not hinge your progress on anyone else's actions or approval. Developing self-reliance is not comfortable. It is not meant to be. It is challenging, grueling, and relentless. It forces you to stand alone in rooms where everyone else is scared or hesitant. It forces you to work harder than anyone else when no one is watching, to make sacrifices that no one will notice, to face the doubts that creep in when the noise of the world is absent. In that space, in that quiet struggle, you discover your true strength. You discover that you are capable of far more than you imagine because you are not leaning on anyone. You are not crumbling under the weight of expectations, and you are not relying on luck or chance. You are creating your own path, defining your own rules, and forging your own destiny. And in that journey, every victory, no matter how small, is yours alone. Self-reliance is also about confidence, the kind that does not seek external validation. When you know that the work you are doing is for you and that your results depend entirely on your effort, fear loses its grip. You become untouchable by the opinions of others, unshakable by rejection, and unstoppable by criticism. This confidence is not arrogance. It is the certainty that comes from action, from putting in the hours, from showing up when it would be easier to quit. When you rely on yourself, you understand that the only thing that can truly limit you is your own hesitation, your own procrastination, your own lack of commitment. And once you internalize that, you begin to take ownership in ways that create exponential growth, because every action you take compounds over time, and the world starts to bend to the force of your relentless self-reliance. Furthermore, self-reliance instills a level of resilience that is impossible to achieve through dependence. Life will test you. It will challenge you. It will knock you down repeatedly. If you rely on others, every setback feels like a disaster. But when you rely on yourself, setbacks become fuel. Failures are no longer signs of abandonment. They are lessons, sharpening tools, building blocks for your next move. You learn to adapt, to pivot, and to persevere, because the only constant in your life is you and your commitment to rise. You become the architect of your destiny, the driver of your journey, and the only person whose opinion truly matters when measuring your progress. Finally, embracing self-reliance is about freedom, the freedom to make choices, to take risks, to pursue your vision without constraints imposed by dependency. When you rely solely on yourself, you gain the power to shape your future, to create opportunities, and to live life on your terms. You no longer settle for crumbs or wait for handouts, because you know that the only thing that can elevate you is your own action, your own sacrifice, your own relentless pursuit of excellence. Every step you take in self-reliance is a step away from mediocrity, a step toward empowerment, and a step into the arena of people who refuse to wait for anyone else to validate their dreams. Self-reliance is not just a skill, it is a lifestyle, a mindset, and a declaration that you are the only person capable of saving your life. It requires courage, discipline, resilience, and an unwavering belief in your own ability to overcome every obstacle. It is the understanding that the world owes you nothing, that waiting for someone else to solve your problems is wasted energy, and that your only path to success is through your own relentless effort. Once you fully embrace self-reliance, you stop waiting, you stop blaming, and you stop hoping for salvation. You become the storm, the force, and the unstoppable presence that your dreams have been waiting for. Your life, your success, your destiny, it is yours to claim, and no one else will do it for you. Pain is not the enemy. Pain is the alarm that wakes you up, the force that slaps you awake and demands attention. It is the signal that you cannot rely on anyone else to fix your life, that waiting for someone to come and rescue you is a futile illusion, and that the only path forward is through your own relentless effort. Too many people see pain as punishment, as something to avoid, as a sign that life is against them. And because of that mindset, they shrink, they quit, and they settle. But pain, when understood, is one of the most powerful tools you can wield in your pursuit of greatness. It is the teacher that will never sugarcoat the lesson, the mirror that reflects your weaknesses back to you, and the spark that ignites a fire inside of you if you refuse to ignore it. Every obstacle, every failure, every betrayal, every disappointment is a wake-up call, a moment designed to force you to confront the truth. No one is coming to save you. You are the only one who can take responsibility for your life, and the pain is here to remind you that the clock is ticking and time waits for no one. Pain forces clarity. When life hurts, when you're stripped of comfort and security, all illusions fall away. You realize which people truly support you and which ones are only present for the easy moments. You realize which habits are holding you back, which excuses are excuses, and which fears are anchors keeping you from moving forward. In that raw, uncomfortable space, there is no hiding. There is no distraction strong enough to mask the truth. If you want to change your circumstances, you must act. Pain reveals your dependency. It shows you how often you have leaned on others, hoping they would carry the weight you were too afraid to lift yourself. And when the support fails, when the encouragement stops, when the safety net disappears, you see that there is only one person who can move the needle on your life: you. That awareness, though uncomfortable, is a gift. It is the moment when excuses no longer have power, because the reality staring you in the face is undeniable. Your life's direction is your responsibility, and the pain is the signpost pointing you toward action. The truth is, most people flee from pain. They numb it, they avoid it, they complain about it, and in doing so, they remain trapped in mediocrity. They wait for someone else to intervene, to hand them solutions, to provide relief. They search for shortcuts, for magic fixes, for handouts, and the world keeps moving past them while they linger in frustration. But those who embrace pain, who confront it head on, transform it into fuel. Pain becomes the weight that builds their strength, the pressure that forges resilience, and the signal that it's time to stop waiting and start acting. Every failure, every heartbreak, every missed opportunity, every moment of discomfort is a chance to sharpen your focus, to toughen your mind, and to commit to a level of work that will make you unstoppable. Pain is not punishment. Pain is proof that you are alive, proof that growth is possible, and proof that you have not yet reached your full potential. Pain also teaches independence. It strips away the illusion that someone else is coming to save you. And when that illusion disappears, you are forced to rely on yourself. When life is easy, it is tempting to coast, to depend on others, to follow the crowd, and to hide behind comfort. But pain removes all shortcuts. It removes all crutches. It forces you into the arena, into the struggle, into the work that only you can do. And when you emerge from that struggle, when you push through the discomfort, you gain something no one can take away: self-trust. You gain the understanding that your capacity for endurance, for discipline, and for action is far greater than you imagine. Pain is the ultimate teacher of self-reliance because it removes every external option, leaving only one path forward through your own effort. Furthermore, pain cultivates perspective. It shows you the fleeting nature of comfort and the scarcity of true support. It teaches you to value every small victory, to celebrate progress even when it is invisible to the world, and to stop comparing yourself to others who may never have faced what you have faced. Pain strips away illusions of entitlement and forces humility, accountability, and grit. You learn that life is not fair, that the world owes you nothing, and that your dreams will not materialize because of luck, privilege, or waiting. Pain trains you to see opportunities where others see obstacles, to act when others hesitate, and to persist when others quit. It is the force that transforms weakness into strength, doubt into confidence, and fear into courage. Without pain, there is complacency. With pain, there is awakening. The most successful people in history have one thing in common. They did not wait for comfort. They did not wait for circumstances to be perfect. They did not wait for someone to intervene. They were confronted by pain, failure, rejection, and betrayal, and they used it to drive themselves harder than anyone else. Pain was the fuel that pushed them to wake up early when the world slept, to work longer when others rested, and to endure rejection when others gave up. Pain forces action because it leaves no other choice. It exposes weakness and calls for accountability. And when answered, it builds the kind of resilience that cannot be taught or inherited. It is the crucible in which self-reliance is forged, where the illusion of dependency is destroyed and where the warrior inside of you is awakened. Pain is also a teacher of urgency. Every second you spend waiting for someone else to fix your problems, every moment you linger in comfort or distraction, is a moment wasted. Pain reminds you that life is fleeting, that opportunity does not wait, and that time is the one resource you cannot recover. It forces you to prioritize, to eliminate what is irrelevant, and to focus relentlessly on what truly matters, taking action today, right now, on your own behalf. It strips away hesitation, doubt, and distraction, and it demands that you step into your own power. The world will not wait for you, and neither will your dreams. Pain is the hammer that breaks through excuses and the spark that ignites relentless pursuit. Finally, pain is a source of transformation. The very experiences that hurt you most can become the experiences that shape you into someone stronger, sharper, and more capable than you ever imagined. The betrayals that broke you can teach you discernment. The failures that crushed you can teach you strategy. The hardships that tested you can teach you resilience. Pain, when embraced and harnessed, becomes the ultimate teacher, mentor, and motivator. It forces you to rely on yourself, to sharpen your focus, and to act with a ferocity that can only be born from the recognition that no one else is coming to save you. Pain is not the enemy. It is the wake-up call, the signal, and the fuel for the life you are capable of creating if you are willing to face, endure it, and rise above it. Discipline is the backbone of success. It is the silent force that separates those who dream from those who achieve, those who talk from those who act, those who wait for miracles from those who create them. Motivation is temporary, fleeting, and unreliable. It comes in waves, rises and falls with your mood, and is easily extinguished by obstacles, fatigue, or doubt. Motivation will leave you standing still when the storm hits, when the pressure rises, when no one is cheering you on, and when life demands action. Discipline, on the other hand, is consistent, unwavering, and non-negotiable. It is the practice of doing what must be done, even when you don't feel like it, even when the excitement has faded, even when the world offers no applause. Discipline does not wait for inspiration. It creates momentum through repeated action, and it becomes your most powerful weapon in the pursuit of your goals. The first step in embracing discipline is understanding that waiting for motivation is a trap. Motivation is seductive because it feels good. It energizes you and it makes you believe you are ready to conquer the world. But the truth is, life does not reward good feelings. Life rewards action, persistence, and commitment. Discipline is the bridge between desire and reality, the engine that drives you forward when enthusiasm has left the building. It is the invisible force that keeps you showing up, putting in the hours, and grinding even when nobody is watching, when no one cares, and when you feel like quitting. Without discipline, your dreams remain ideas, your goals remain intentions, and your potential remains untapped. Discipline transforms thoughts into habits, habits into routines, routines into results, and results into the kind of life that others envy. Discipline requires sacrifice. It demands that you do what others won't, that you endure what others avoid, and that you prioritize long-term gain over short-term pleasure. T is waking up early when your bed is warm and your body wants rest. It is pushing through workouts, study sessions, work tasks, or creative projects when your mind screams for comfort. It is resisting distractions, saying no to immediate gratification, and staying focused on the mission regardless of how you feel. Every time you choose discipline over ease, you strengthen a muscle that cannot be taken from you. You build a foundation that allows you to thrive in chaos, to resist temptation, and to perform at a level far above those who wait for motivation to arrive. Discipline is not about punishment. It is about freedom, the freedom to act, the freedom to control your time, and the freedom to shape your destiny on your terms. The power of discipline is amplified when you commit to it relentlessly. Too many people treat discipline like a suggestion, something optional, something to be applied when convenient or appealing. True discipline is non-negotiable. It does not take breaks. It does not argue with you, and it does not excuse failure. It is the daily insistence that you do the work, push through resistance, and execute on your plan no matter the circumstances. Discipline is doing the things you know you should do, even when your emotions resist, even when your mind doubts, and even when no external pressure exists. It is the inner command to act with consistency, to follow through with precision, and to honor the commitments you make to yourself. When you live by this PR, insightful, you no longer rely on fleeting feelings, external validation, or luck to drive your progress. Discipline becomes the engine of your success, unstoppable and unyielding. Discipline also teaches resilience. Life will challenge you, test you, and throw obstacles in your path. Motivation alone will not carry you through setbacks, failures, and rejections. Discipline is the anchor that keeps you grounded in purpose, focused on the mission, and committed to action, even when circumstances are unfavorable. When you have cultivated discipline, giving up is no longer an option. You train yourself to endure discomfort, to push beyond limits, and to execute on your vision regardless of the noise surrounding you. Discipline transforms adversity into opportunity, obstacles into lessons, and struggle into growth. It is the skill that ensures you rise each time life knocks you down, that you keep moving forward when others quit, and that you continue building momentum even in isolation. Another critical aspect of discipline is consistency. Success is rarely a result of one brilliant move, one lucky break, or one inspired moment. It is the cumulative result of countless disciplined actions repeated day after day, week after week, and year after year. Discipline is doing the work when it is inconvenient, performing the task that seems small or meaningless in the moment, and trusting that the results will compound over time. Every disciplined choice, no matter how minor it seems, adds up to a life of achievement, independence, and control. Without consistency, motivation is wasted energy. With discipline, every effort compounds into unstoppable progress, creating results that cannot be achieved by luck, talent, or fleeting enthusiasm alone. Discipline also strengthens character. It forces you to confront your excuses, your weaknesses, and your moments of doubt. It requires self-awareness, honesty, and courage. You learn that growth is uncomfortable, that comfort is the enemy of progress, and that the only way to elevate yourself is to push past the resistance within. Discipline is not simply doing more work. It is doing the right work at the right time with the right mindset. It is the choice to honor your commitments, to take ownership of your outcomes, and to refuse to blame circumstances or others for your lack of progress. In this way, discipline molds you into someone who is not swayed by opinion, not derailed by setbacks, and not dependent on validation. It builds an inner fortress, a mind trained to act, persist, and conquer, regardless of what life throws in your path. Finally, discipline is liberating. It gives you control over your life in a world that constantly seeks to distract, derail, and diminish your potential. When you are disciplined, you no longer wait for inspiration, for someone to guide you, or for external circumstances to align. You create your own momentum, dictate your own terms, and execute on your vision with precision. Discipline allows you to live intentionally, to make every moment count, and to pursue excellence without compromise. It turns obstacles into opportunities, challenges into fuel, and ambition into reality. Discipline is the ultimate weapon for those who understand that nobody is coming to save them. It is the tool that converts potential into power, desire into action, and dreams into achievement. Stop expecting permission to succeed, because the world will never hand it to you. Too many people wait for a signal, a green light, a nod of approval, or someone else's endorsement before they act. They wait for the right circumstances, the right connections, the right moment, and they convince themselves that success requires outside validation. The truth is brutal. No one is coming to give you permission. No one is coming to make your dreams real. No one owes you a chance. The world does not pause, and life does not adjust for your comfort. Every second spent waiting, hoping, or asking for permission is a second wasted, a moment stolen from your own growth, a delay in your potential. Success is never given. It is claimed, fought for, and earned by those bold enough to take action regardless of approval. If you want to achieve greatness, if you want to rise above mediocrity, you must stop waiting and start acting independently. Expecting permission is a form of self-sabotage. It is a subtle way of giving your power away, of letting your fears dictate your actions, and of placing your destiny in someone else's hands. Waiting for validation feeds doubt. It tells you that your ideas are not enough, that your effort is meaningless, that your vision is dependent on someone else's acknowledgement. But the harsh truth is that waiting for approval leads to stagnation. It leads to missed opportunities, wasted potential, and a life defined by hesitation. To break free from this trap, you must internalize the understanding that your authority over your life comes from no one else but you. You do not need permission to dream, to act, to risk, or to fail. You need courage, conviction, and a relentless refusal to wait for anyone to tell you it is okay to pursue your vision. Action is the antidote to waiting. The moment you decide that you do not need approval, that you do not need a sign, that you do not need anyone else to validate your purpose, you take control of your life. You claim authority over your circumstances, your decisions, and your future. Every small step you take without waiting builds confidence, momentum, and independence. You begin to see that the world's approval was never required, and the only person who can stop you from moving forward is yourself. This realization is liberating. It transforms fear into power, hesitation into action, and doubt into clarity. When you act without asking, you are unstoppable because you no longer rely on external factors to define your capacity. You define it yourself. Furthermore, not seeking permission cultivates resilience. Life is filled with rejection, criticism, and opposition. If you wait for permission, you will encounter resistance at every turn, and it will paralyze you. But when you act with authority, without waiting for someone else's consent, rejection loses its power. Criticism becomes irrelevant because your commitment is self-driven. Opposition becomes fuel, not a barrier, because your actions are rooted in internal accountability rather than external approval. By refusing to wait, by moving boldly in the face of uncertainty, you train your mind to persist, to endure, and to achieve despite resistance. You learn that the only limits that truly exist are the ones you accept, and that the courage to act independently is what separates the extraordinary from the ordinary. Expecting permission also undermines creativity and innovation. People who wait for approval tend to conform, to imitate, and to follow guidelines that limit vision. They do not take risks, they do not push boundaries, and they do not test limits because they are preoccupied with avoiding disapproval. But true progress, true success, and true fulfillment come from those who dare to act without asking, who create their own standards, who move boldly into the unknown. When you stop seeking permission, you give yourself the freedom to innovate, to explore, and to discover solutions that others cannot see. You unlock the ability to think independently, to take initiative, and to carve a path that no one else could. Imagine. Independence of action becomes your superpower because it is unrestrained, self-driven, and unshakable. Self-confidence grows when you refuse to wait for permission. Every time you make a decision on your own, every time you take a step without asking, every time you push forward despite fear or doubt, you reinforce the truth that you are capable. Confidence does not come from approval. It comes from repeated evidence that you can act, that you can endure, and that you can achieve. The world may never validate your choices, but your results will speak louder than any approval ever could. This self-trust becomes the foundation for all future action. It is the armor you wear against hesitation, the fuel that powers relentless pursuit, and the shield that protects you from external judgment. You begin to operate from a place of authority over your own life. And that is the mindset of someone who refuses to wait for anyone to save them. The reality is that life moves fast, and waiting for permission is equivalent to surrendering your opportunity. Every moment spent hoping for validation is a moment someone else is using to advance, to grow, and to conquer their goals. Life does not reward patience in this context. It rewards initiative, courage, and decisiveness. If you wait for permission, you are giving the world the advantage. You are placing your dreams on hold, while others take the action that will define the course of their lives. Every great achiever knows that while hiding is the enemy of success, they understand that permission is irrelevant, that no one else will act on their behalf, and that the only path to progress is through independent, decisive, and relentless action. Not asking for permission also reinforces accountability. When you act without approval, you cannot blame anyone else for failure, delay, or obstacles. You are fully responsible for your life, your choices, and your results. This ownership forces you to rise to the occasion, to cultivate discipline, and to persist when circumstances are difficult. Accountability is not punishment. It is empowerment. It is the realization that your life is yours to shape, that waiting for someone else diminishes your power, and that independent action is the only way to claim the future you desire. Every step you take without asking builds confidence, resilience, and mastery, proving to yourself that you are capable of navigating challenges, creating opportunities, and achieving your goals. Finally, refusing to seek permission instills urgency and decisiveness. Life is short, time is fleeting, and opportunity is fleeting. Waiting for someone to approve your efforts, to validate your ideas, or to allow you to take action is a guarantee of lost time and wasted potential. When you act without asking, you move with speed, clarity, and purpose. You become the driver of your destiny, the commander of your actions, and the architect of your results. Success comes not to those who wait, but to those who act who persevere, and who refuse to let external approval dictate their journey. The moment you stop seeking permission is the moment you step into your power. Take control of your life and embrace the reality that nobody is coming to save you. You are your own savior, and the world will bend only to the force of your independent, relentless action. Focus is the weapon that turns dreams into reality. It is the lens through which you see opportunity, the discipline that filters distractions, and the force that separates those who achieve from those who drift. In a world overflowing with noise, opinions, and constant demands for attention, focus is the rare skill that determines who rises and who remains stagnant. Most people spread themselves thin, chasing everything, reacting to every alert, every conversation, every distraction, and every new shiny object. They think being busy is the same as being productive, but being busy is often the enemy of results. Focus is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters most relentlessly, with intensity and without apology. When you protect your focus, when you treat it as sacred, it becomes a weapon that can cut through chaos, silence doubt, and make progress inevitable. Focus requires clarity. You must know what you want, why you want it, and the steps necessary to get there. Without clarity, focus becomes directionless effort. You can grind all day, sacrifice all night, and push yourself endlessly. But if your RGY is scattered, your results will be minimal. Focus sharpens your vision, forcing you to identify the essential actions that will move the needle in your life. It helps you distinguish between what is urgent and what is important, between what is noise and what is signal. The moment you understand the power of focus, you stop reacting to every demand. You stop seeking approval from others, and you start moving deliberately toward the life you are committed to creating. Focus is the tool that converts intention into action and action into achievement. Distractions are relentless, and they are designed to derail you. The world is full of people who will pull at your attention, tempt you with comfort, and pressure you into mediocrity. Every social media scroll, every idle conversation, every unnecessary engagement is a siphon on your energy, a thief of your time, and a barrier to the progress you are capable of achieving. Focus requires ruthlessness. It demands that you eliminate what does not serve your mission, that you guard your mental space with vigilance, and that you treat your attention as the most valuable resource you have. When you protect your focus, you create an environment where growth is inevitable, because your energy is channeled directly into what matters most, unimpeded by noise, distraction, or the opinions of others. Focus also cultivates consistency. The ability to sustain attention on high priority goals over time separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Short bursts of energy are fleeting. Long-term, sustained effort produces results. Focus is the bridge between intention and mastery, because it allows you to apply yourself over the long haul, to build momentum that compounds, and to develop skills, habits, and outcomes that cannot be achieved by scattered effort. Every day you choose to protect your focus, you make progress invisible to those around you, but transformative for your future. The power of focus is cumulative, and over time, it yields results that appear almost miraculous to anyone who has not mastered this skill. Focus requires discipline of the mind. It is not enough to simply want results. You must train yourself to resist temptation, to delay gratification, and to stay committed to your priorities, even when your emotions, energy, or circumstances are against you. The mind is easily distracted, and without conscious control, it will drift toward comfort, avoidance, and entertainment. Focus is the act of saying no to the frivolous, the unimportant, and the distracting, and yes to the actions that move you closer to your goals. It is the practice of returning to your mission with intensity every time your attention wavers. The more you practice focus, the stronger your mental resilience becomes, and the easier it is to maintain clarity and momentum in the face of adversity, uncertainty, or chaos. Focus creates leverage. When everyone else is distracted, complaining, or reacting, your concentrated effort amplifies results. It allows you to do less, but achieve more, to operate with precision rather than quantity, and to produce outcomes that overwhelm those who attempt to multitask their way to success. Focus makes your work exponentially more effective because it directs every ounce of energy toward meaningful impact. The ability to concentrate on what truly matters while ignoring the noise around you is a competitive advantage that cannot be bought, inherited, or imitated. It is a force multiplier that turns ordinary effort into extraordinary results. Focus also protects your mental health and your energy. When your attention is scattered, your mind becomes cluttered, your stress increases, and your sense of purpose diminishes. Focus allows you to simplify, prioritize, and channel your energy where it produces the greatest return. It reduces frustration, increases confidence, and enhances decision making. When you know exactly where to direct your energy and refuse to allow distractions to hijack your attention, your life becomes a reflection of deliberate, intentional action rather than reactive chaos. Focus is the compass that guides every step, ensuring that your energy is never wasted and your time is never stolen. Finally, focus empowers self-reliance. When you can concentrate on your goals, despite external noise, when you can act independently of approval, distraction, or interference, you become unstoppable. Focus allows you to rely on yourself because you understand that progress depends on your attention, your decisions, and your commitment, not on the actions, validation, or support of anyone else. It strengthens your resolve, sharpens your strategy, and reinforces the truth that your destiny is in your hands. When you combine focus with action, discipline, and resilience, you create a life that cannot be derailed, a momentum that cannot be stopped, and results that command respect. Focus is not merely a skill. It is the weapon that ensures your efforts are precise, deliberate, and effective. It is the tool that transforms intention into reality and proves that when nobody comes to save you, the power to succeed lies entirely in your hands. Your circle cannot carry you. And the sooner you understand this, the sooner you will take control of your life. Too many people live in the illusion that friends, family, mentors, or society will lift them to success. They expect support, validation, and help at every turn, believing that their dreams depend on someone else showing up for them. But the truth is relentless. No one is obligated to carry your vision, your goals, or your responsibility. People are focused on their own lives, their own struggles, and their own ambitions. Even those who care for you deeply may not have the capacity, knowledge, or willingness to give you what you need. To depend on others is to hand over your power, to create fragility in your life, and to set yourself up for disappointment. Success, independence, and achievement are born through self-reliance. And the people around you can at best support, not save, your journey. Recognizing that your circle cannot carry you is uncomfortable but essential. Relationships, connections, and networks can provide opportunities, inspiration, or guidance, but they cannot do the work for you. They cannot grind when you are too tired, push when you feel weak, or sacrifice what you must sacrifice to reach your goals. Every great achiever has faced this truth. They have been left alone in critical moments, unsupported when it mattered most, and tested in ways that revealed who they truly were. These moments of isolation are not failures. They are invitations to build resilience, to cultivate inner strength, and to trust your own abilities. The circle around you is not the engine of your success. You are. The sooner you internalize that, the sooner you can stop waiting for others and start acting with the urgency and independence your dreams demand. Dependence on others also breeds complacency. When people rely on friends or family to motivate them, validate them, or solve their problems, they give away control of their progress. They delay action, justify inaction, and excuse mediocrity because they hope someone else will pick up the slack. The moment you realize your circle cannot carry you is the moment you stop relying on external validation and start creating internal momentum. You stop negotiating your effort based on who is present or absent. You stop seeking handouts, guidance, or affirmation. And you begin doing what is necessary to advance your life, regardless of whether anyone else is watching, supporting, or encouraging you. Self-reliance becomes the engine, and your circle becomes optional, a compliment, not a requirement. The harsh reality is that life will test your independence. Opportunities are fleeting. Crises emerge without warning, and challenges come whether anyone is there to help you or not. In those moments, the people you counted on may be unavailable, distracted, or incapable. If you have built your life on their presence, you will crumble. But if you have cultivated self-reliance, resilience, and discipline, you will rise. You will act decisively, make the necessary sacrifices, and push through obstacles because you have trained yourself to depend on no one but yourself. Every moment in which your circle cannot carry you is an opportunity to strengthen your independence, deepen your commitment, and prove to yourself that your life is yours to control. Your circle can influence you, but it cannot carry you. Negative influences, doubt, and distractions can creep into relationships, slowing your progress, sowing uncertainty, or even tempting you to settle for less. By recognizing that the responsibility for your life rests solely with you, you begin to filter the noise, protect your energy, and focus on what matters most. You do not need approval to act. You do not need validation to take risks. You not need a cheerleader to pursue excellence. Your circle can offer advice or support, but it cannot provide the drive, focus, or persistence required to achieve your dreams. That drive comes from within. That persistence comes from within. That commitment comes from within. The awareness that your circle cannot carry you is also liberating. It frees you from reliance, expectation, and the illusion that your life should be dictated by others' actions, approval, or availability. Once you accept this, you act with clarity, decisiveness, and courage. You stop blaming others for your setbacks and start taking responsibility for your outcomes. You understand that if your dreams are to become reality, you must move independently, relentlessly, and with urgency. Your success becomes an internal mission fueled by self-discipline, resilience, and unwavering focus, rather than by the presence or absence of external support. You no longer wait for someone to show up. You show up for yourself every single day. Self-reliance also builds character in ways dependence never can. When you carry yourself, push yourself, and create your own momentum, you develop courage, perseverance, and confidence. You learn to navigate challenges without complaint, to embrace responsibility without hesitation, and to take ownership of both victories and failures. The stronger you become in isolation, the less vulnerable you are to criticism, rejection, or the whims of others. Your independence becomes a foe. Artrest, your work ethic becomes unstoppable, and your results become undeniable. You become proof that greatness is achieved by those who act without waiting, who endure without complaint, and who push forward without reliance on anyone else. Understanding that your circle cannot carry you does not mean you cut people off. It means you stop leaning on them for your progress. You appreciate their presence, but no longer depend on it. You take full responsibility for your growth, your actions, and your results. You create boundaries, you prioritize your goals, and you cultivate relationships that enhance rather than dictate your journey. Your circle becomes optional support, not a crutch, and you realize that your life's trajectory is dictated solely by the effort you put in, the discipline you maintain, and the relentless pursuit of your own excellence. Ultimately, the moment you internalize that your circle cannot carry you, your life changes. You no longer wait for handouts, encouragement, or rescue. You stop blaming circumstances, people, or external forces. You rise to the challenge, push through adversity, and create momentum that is entirely yours. You embrace the reality that your life is your responsibility. Your success is your obligation, and your dreams are your mission. Independence becomes a habit. Self-reliance becomes a strength, and your results become unstoppable. Those who understand this principle do not wait for anyone. They act, they grind, they sacrifice, they persist. They build a life of power, control, and achievement because they know that if anyone is coming to save them, it will be themselves. And that truth is both humbling and empowering. Action creates opportunity, and it is the one principle that separates those who dream from those who achieve. Waiting for the right time, the right people, the right conditions, or the right permission is a trap that keeps ordinary people trapped in mediocrity. The truth is clear. Opportunity is not found. It is built. It is forged through relentless effort, decisive moves, and an unwillingness to remain idle while the world passes by. Every successful person, every leader, every game changer, and every high achiever understands that waiting accomplishes nothing. They understand that the world does not bend for anyone who hesitates. Action is the bridge between your vision and your reality. Without it, dreams remain ideas. Plans remain intentions, and potential remains wasted. Action is not optional. It is the lifeblood of success, the currency of results, and the proof that you are committed to owning your life. Many people fail to act because they overthink, they wait for certainty, or they fear failure. They assume that preparation alone is enough, that waiting will somehow produce the perfect moment, or that someone else will create the opportunity for them. But the world operates on a different law. Nothing happens without movement. Waiting, hesitation, and indecision are killers of dreams. Opportunity is a reward for those who take the initiative, who push past fear, and who refuse to remain stagnant. Every small action compounds over time. Every step forward, no matter how seemingly insignificant, positions you closer to breakthroughs, to connections, to results, and to success. Inaction guarantees failure. Action guarantees possibility. Action requires courage because it often comes before clarity. You may not know exactly how things will unfold. You may not have every tool at your disposal, and you may not have permission or approval from anyone. That is precisely the point. Waiting for clarity or certainty is an illusion. The act of moving, of executing despite fear, of doing despite discomfort is what creates momentum, sharpens judgment, and opens doors. Every decision you make, every step you take, and every effort you invest in your goals generates movement. And movement attracts opportunity in ways that sitting idle never will. Action is the magnet that draws results, experience, and growth toward those who refuse to wait for life to hand it to them. Action is also a teacher. When you act, you learn. You discover what works, what does not, and what needs adjustment. Every failure becomes a lesson. Every challenge becomes a test, and every small win becomes evidence that your efforts are moving you forward. Without action, knowledge remains theoretical. Ideas remain abstract, and potential remains untested. Action transforms thought into experience, vision into reality, and effort into measurable results. The person who hesitates is trapped in theory. The person who acts is immersed in practice, and practice always breeds mastery, confidence, and opportunity. Action creates opportunity because it signals commitment. When you consistently act, others take notice. Doors open, people respond, resources align, and opportunities appear in response to your visible dedication. Inaction, on the other hand, signals passivity, uncertainty, and dependence. If you want the world to take you seriously, to recognize your value, and to align with your vision, you must demonstrate it through persistent, visible action. Momentum is not accidental. It is generated by effort, repetition, and a refusal to remain idle. Opportunity follows those who are moving, not those who are waiting. Action requires discipline and consistency. It is not enough to act sporadically or when inspired. True progress is created by the accumulation of repeated, purposeful action over time. Every day that you take steps toward your goals compounds, producing results that may not be immediately visible, but become undeniable over weeks, months, and years. Those who act relentlessly, even when the world doubts them or when motivation fades, create a life that cannot be ignored. Action becomes habit. Habit becomes routine. And routine becomes unstoppable momentum that leads to results, influence, and success. The person who understands this principle knows waiting is a liability, while consistent, decisive action is an asset beyond measure. Action also builds confidence. The act of doing, of taking risks, of moving toward your goals despite fear, strengthens your belief in your own abilities. Every completed task, every step forward, every challenge overcome reinforces the understanding that you are capable, resilient, and competent. Confidence is not born from comfort, it is born from movement. It is born from proving to yourself repeatedly that you can handle setbacks, navigate obstacles, and create results through your own effort. The more you act, the more capable you become. The more capable you become, the more opportunity you attract. Action is the engine of growth, and growth is the currency of possibility. Action breaks dependency. Waiting for someone else for luck or for external validation is a form of reliance that keeps you trapped in mediocrity. When you act independently, you remove the need for permission, handouts, or handshakes. You stop negotiating your potential with external forces and instead generate results through your own initiative. This independence is liberating because it places power entirely in your hands. The moment you understand that your effort alone determines your trajectory, that nobody is coming to save you, and that opportunity is a result of action, you gain control over your life. You stop waiting, you stop hoping, and you start executing relentlessly. Ultimately, action creates opportunity, because it is the only force that converts intention into reality. Ideas, plans, and dreams without action are wasted potential. Desire without execution is meaningless. The person who takes consistent, focused, and relentless action is the person who shapes their environment, attracts resources, and commands results. Opportunity is not something you stumble upon. It is something you earn through movement, initiative, and refusal to remain idle. When nobody is coming to save you, the only way to create a life worth living is to act decisively, to push through fear, to grind when others quit, and to transform every ounce of effort into results that cannot be ignored. Every step, no matter how small, generates momentum. Every effort, no matter how unseen, compounds. Every act of courage, persistence, and execution builds a foundation upon which your success is inevitable. The world will never hand you opportunity, permission, or approval. Action is the vehicle through which you claim what is yours. It is the manifestation of self-reliance, discipline, focus, and resilience. Action is the proof that you are willing to carry yourself, fight for your vision, and refuse to wait for anyone else. When you act consistently, decisively, and relentlessly, doors open, momentum builds, and opportunities emerge as a natural byproduct of your effort. To create the life you desire, you must act now, act often, and act with total commitment. Opportunity is not found. It is earned. And the only way to earn it is through relentless action. Now listen to me carefully, because this is the truth you cannot escape. Nobody is coming to save you. Not your friends, not your family, not society, not your mentors, not luck, not timing, nobody. The life you want, the success you crave, the person you are meant to become, they are all waiting on you. Every second you waste hoping for someone else to hand it to you is a second stolen from your potential. The world does not pause for hesitation, and it does not reward waiting. It rewards action. It rewards self-reliance. It rewards the person who wakes up every day, regardless of comfort, motivation, or circumstance, and says, I will do this myself. If you want change, if you want results, if you want a life worth living, it begins with you taking responsibility. Understand this. Pain, struggle, rejection, failure, they are not enemies. They are signals. Wake-up calls telling you to stop relying on anyone else. Every obstacle is a test. Every hardship is a lesson. And every moment of discomfort is the forge where your strength, discipline, and focus are built. You cannot sit back and wait for a hero. The hero is already inside of you, waiting to be awakened. the power to create, the power to grind, the power to rise above your circumstances. It has always been yours. The question is, will you claim it today, or will you continue waiting for someone else to save you? Focus becomes your weapon, discipline your backbone, action your engine. These are the tools you need to construct the life you deserve. No one else will fight for your dreams. No one else will sacrifice when you are too tired to move. No one else will endure the long nights, the setbacks, the grind, and the isolation for you. That work is yours alone, and every moment you delay, every second you hesitate, someone else is taking the steps that could have been yours. You must cultivate a mind that refuses excuses, a heart that embraces responsibility, and a will that cannot be broken by fear or doubt. Self-reliance is not optional. It is the foundation of greatness. So here is what you need to do. Stop waiting. Stop blaming. Stop hoping that life or people will hand you what you desire. Take ownership. Commit to the grind. Build discipline when motivation fades. Protect your focus when the world is shouting. Take action even when the conditions are far from perfect. Turn pain into fuel, rejection into strategy, struggle into growth, and independence into power. Let every setback ignite a fire inside you that cannot be extinguished. Let every moment of discomfort remind you that you are becoming stronger, sharper, and more unstoppable with every step you take. Remember, opportunity is created, not given. Success is earned, not inherited. Your destiny is written by the choices you make, the actions you take, and the consistency you maintain. Nobody is coming to save you, and that is not a weakness. It is your advantage. It is the truth that sets the stage for your greatness. Stand up, step forward, take control, grind when no one is watching, push when no one believes, act when no one applauds, because the person who shows up for themselves every single day without waiting, without excuses, without permission is the person who conquers life. That person is you. Your time is now.